Alright, guys. Woo! Day one. First day of work. April 29th. This is my pod episode regarding this. I'm gonna talk about where I left off and some of the updates that I learned and my first experience. Just as a I guess I'll say it quickly first that so far so good. So far I'm actually impressed by many things, and I'll get into those things. But the last time I posted, I spoke about clothing attire. When you're somebody who's not who doesn't have quite a conforming attire, quite a conforming I guess style of clothing. When someone sends you a message saying business casual, dress to impress, for the first day, that isn't always the most clear what that means. So I did go with the thrift store shoes that are, I think it said Steve Madden brand shoes that I got for half off, $10.99. So I paid $5.50 for these shoes. Some old pants, kind of almost like they're Decan. It says DKNY jeans on the tag, but they're not jeans. They're kind of like some other kind of breathable fabric. Not even the type that's made out of, that slacks are made out of. It's something thinner. The thrift store jacket and the button-up, one of my favorite button-ups that I got from, I can't remember the name. It's like an Indian, it's a dude from India, I think, that makes these, a company from India, or this guy from India. So yeah, it's, I don't know if I can even see it. I don't know if there's a tag anywhere where I can see, but I was comfortable. The jacket was pretty comfortable. I wasn't sweating all over the place. It's me and one other guy starting through this agency. I believe I was calling it a recruiting company. They call it a temp agency. I don't really know. I don't really care. I'm a full-time employee with the site, but I do have to report to the recruiter as well. So there is some extra check-ins. I had to check in with her when I got there. She was kind of messaging me a lot along the way. Start time today was 9 a.m. I had to leave at 7. I had set my alarm to leave at 7:05, but I woke up, got up around 6:30 to cook breakfast, but I was up at like 4:45 or something. I did not sleep good. There was a little bit, I guess my little bit of anticipation, what I was actually thinking about last night was more so, just like the parking and finding the door. The way they described it was park in the lot and come up the ramp, and there's a phone, and I kind of looked on Google's map, to kind of zoom in on the photos of the building, so I knew what the building looked like, I knew what the parking looked like, and I kind of just zoomed in, looked at everything, but I didn't see a phone, and basically it just had like a little call box, and so I had to call. So I first went to the accurate place through the parking lot, but I didn't really see a phone, so I went around the front, there was a line for the clients, and this place is located out in the valley. So leaving at like, I actually left at like 7:25 or so. I got there about 8:45. The map took me all the way up the coast to past Dockweiler Beach. I think I ended up getting on the 405 like past the 90. So I drove north for quite a bit, and I met a coworker who's out of Long Beach. I think he said he left at like 6:30. So I left about an hour after he did and got there like 15 minutes early. I noticed I'd already have missed calls, missed messages, missed everything at like 7:30 in the morning. And I was like, oh gosh, like 7:30, I'm already like missing messages and everything. So, and 8 o'clock and 8:30, and I'm just like, bro, like I've been getting ready and like driving. So that's the extra piece of like having the recruiter involved. If it was just the site itself, I wouldn't have had to be like corresponding with the recruiter at the same time. But because there's the recruiter, you know, I have to kind of bounce things off of them too. My timesheets go through the recruiting company. It's weekly pay, but we're gonna submit our timesheets. I think by Friday. We're gonna get access to them Thursday or Friday this week. It's Monday right now, and then we'll put in all this information. I don't know for sure with the mileage, but somebody asked about it, and we'll see if we're gonna get reimbursed for the mileage. So I'm gonna keep track of that. They seem really, first impressions, I don't know what was going through my head, like how I thought people were going to be more like stern, and it's just maybe, I mean, I haven't been in healthcare for a while now, in mental health for a while now, and I kind of forgot what it's like to be around compassion-oriented people. And so I'm not saying that I'm around like jerks. I'm just saying like, wow, like I'm impressed. It's, you know, very compassion oriented people. Everybody's nice. Everybody's like kind, smiling, energetic for a Monday. Like there's just like good attitudes. Like, and I was feeling like, of course, a little nervous, a little like strained because of like not sleeping well, and then doing the caffeine thing, and then was expecting to eat on the road and didn't really get to fully finish my breakfast, but also didn't really have that appetite, and had brought like, you know, in the morning I made a lunch, and I made myself a lunch, I made myself breakfast to bring with me. So it was like a lot of prep in the morning that I was preparing to be on site till like 5 and then drive home in like another 90 minutes of traffic. But this is almost the best scenario that I could think of for a first day. They're really organized, on top of things, calm. The clinic I was at before, everybody was just, I mean, it was nice, but it was very high stress. Not that this won't be high stress, but what I'm trying to say is it was very high, fast-paced, easily strained. People were easily strained. Everyone was underpaid, overworked, but also it was temporary for everyone. And so, you know, I'm impressed, like, because I was expecting to be let down and expecting to be like, man, like, because I already said I only want to stay at this site 6 months, but just off first impressions, I'm like, I'm down for the cause at the moment, you know, especially because I thought I, worst case scenario, have to be here 9 to 5 for 2 weeks, back to back, Monday through Friday, every day for the next 2 weeks. That's not even the case. So the drive is the strain, because I do not live in the valley. I live in the south part of LA, coastally, and like just north of Long Beach. And so to be driving all the way past Hollywood, like I'm up, like this place is up past where the 405, where the 101 crosses the 405. So it's a little past there. And so that's freaking far. Like, I guess dude, these roads are feeling rocky. Dang. It's kind of a scary feel. I hope my tire's okay. I feel like it's fine, but this car's a little large. But yeah, it's nice to get out, honestly. I don't know if I have a flat. This tire's feeling like maybe it's on low. I don't know, it might just be the roads. Sorry, I'm talking quietly because I can't really tell. The squeaking sound is the back window. This, just give me a second, guys. I gotta tune into this car here. Make sure it's the roads and not the car. This car rides a little rocky, but I don't want to like blow a tire either. I think it's okay. It's just the road's like really not smooth at all. I think the tire just caught something because I was going downhill while turning. I don't know. I don't drive the freeway too much, guys. I mean, it feels fine. Sorry, give me a second. I might just have to drive slow. Kind of feels fine, but I don't remember running anything over. It's just these roads are so bumpy as it is. It's really hard to tell. I don't feel like I have a flat though, because we're still driving smoothly. It's just really rough. We're riding rough here. I don't even know. But I'm pretty far along, I guess. But anyways, alright, so let's get back. Positive vibes, good experience so far. They gave some nice comments. So I got buzzed in right away. I was sitting there, you know, the person who was gonna set us up with the initial parts of the training was waiting to get trained. Dealing with something online, and they told us they'll get with us really soon. There was already a guy there, and I didn't know what his role was, but after a while, I kind of asked him if he was starting, and he seemed pretty nice, and there wasn't like a lot of small talk, so that was cool, but we're just like, okay, we're both starting. I'm glad I returned that. I returned that bag because I didn't really need it. Like, I'm solid with what I already have. You know, they gave us a laptop bag, so let me go in order. So the first person we met was IT. They were kind of, I don't know, like, they kind of had a bit of an androgynous look to them. Their style of clothing wasn't, like, super dressed up, but I did see people with, you know, it kind of looked like basic church attire or something you'd put on to go like to work. Like people basically were dressed for work, but there was like a variety. Some people had like polo shirts, some people had blouses, some people had pants, skirts, dresses. Some people had like a nice sneaker, like a plain tennis shoe kind of look. So I kind of fell somewhere in between. I wasn't like super dressed up because I had my sneakers and stuff, but I did have the blazer and I did have a button down. I got a compliment on the shirt. It's kind of interesting. Ever since I changed up my style, like to be more comfortable to myself, I think this was a while back. I think on one of my birthdays, maybe it was I don't remember what number birthday. Let's call it my 35th birthday or something like that. I took days off. I kind of hung around Huntington Beach. I think I took like a little staycation in Huntington Beach and went to Jack's Surf Shop and got one of those. It was like a surfer Hawaiian looking shirt. It wasn't really like a Tommy Bahama. It was more like a surfer looking kind of shirt. And so where the cuffs, we turned the cuffs up and it's kind of got a different color under there, and like it looked faded, like it looks faded on the one side, but it looks faded on the top side, but then underneath it's actually like a darker color, so it almost looks like when you would wear a shirt inside out. So I don't know, it had those little features to it, so it was pretty cool. And I remember getting a lot of compliments on that shirt. Because before I used to wear, like, I talked about it before, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically just like plain shirts or like polo, like a shirt with a collar or like a sweater over it, like a pullover sweater, or like a, what are those, okay, it starts with a C, like a, I don't know, I don't remember what you call it, that has the buttons kind of in the middle, and it just kind of goes over it's just a sweater. I can't remember what they're called, but I used to just wear those and just like fitted jeans for the most part, or some kind of slacks that were kind of fitted but not tight, just like fitted, so they're not like baggy. And so that's basically how I used to dress. And then I upgraded a little bit. I upgraded my t-shirts a little bit. Most of them are Into the AM. So Into the AM, a lot of their shirts are kind of like, they're dark. Some of them aren't dark. Some of them aren't black, but the ones I have are black. And then they have like a lot of just features, a lot of good features to them, like the colors and the neon. So for the most part, with like my button downs and those shirts, like I'd never gotten compliments on any of my clothes before, like ever in like a million years. Like nobody ever used to compliment me on my clothes until I started wearing these things, either work or casual, and people were always like, from then on, people were always just like, oh, it's a nice shirt. I like your shirt. I like your shirt. I like your shirt. I like your shirt. And I'm like, okay, at first it was just like friends of mine. So I'm like, oh, maybe they're just being nice because they like the way I changed a little bit of something and they could see I made a little effort. But even doing Uber Eats delivery, I was wearing one of those shirts with the astronaut on it, and the guy yesterday complimented my shirt. The last time I went over to, probably like 2 weeks ago, I went over to get some steering fluid for the car. The guy at the shop complimented my shirt. Today, this button down I'm wearing, it's a really old button down for me, but the lady who let me in the door when I buzzed in, she complimented my shirt. It's like within a month, I'm getting like multiple compliments on my shirts, and all my shirts are really old by now too. So it's kind of like one of those things that's like, I feel very comfortable wearing these clothes, and other people like them. I don't know if they like it on me or how they fit on me or what exactly it is that they're seeing that they like, but I like that they like it. And I'm telling you, like growing up, I never got compliments on any of my clothes. Like nobody was ever like, oh, I like your shirt, or I like your pants, oh, I like anything, and I never cared that nobody complimented me. It was just something, nobody ever complimented me. But now I'm like, almost every time I come out of the house wearing a shirt that I like, and I'm like, oh, somebody else likes this too. And it's like, it's just like a flavor. Like, I've explained it before. I like colors. Like, I like wearing colorful clothes, but I like them to be more like masculine fitting. But I like my clothes to be colorful. So it's got like, I don't mind wearing like pinks and brights and neons and flowers and stuff like that, as long as the fit is the fit that I want. And I think that fits me perfectly, because it's got the femininity with the flowers and the pinks and the light bright colors and stuff, and then it's got the masculinity with the shape to it. And I think it just kind of suits a bit of my personality. And lately, in the last few years, people have really been complimenting on that too. And I'm not saying like I'm doing it for the compliments. I was doing it for my own comfort, and I didn't really, at first I just wrote it off, because I was like, these people are just complimenting me just to be nice. And now I'm like, it's complete strangers complimenting me too. Like, I don't get out much, like I'm saying, but like, even the few times I have gotten out, I've gotten compliments. And it's something that maybe this is a whole different topic, I guess, but I never really grew up thinking that I would ever have a style that anybody could appreciate, because I was always raised around people telling me, don't wear this, you need to wear that to church, you need to wear this when we go out to eat dinner as a family, you need to wear that to the wedding. And it was always like, I remember specifically, I used to have this favorite pair of like shorts, and when my clothes used to start falling apart, I used to have my mom kind of like sew it back up a little bit, not put patches necessarily, but just like, hey, can you sew this back on or whatever. And I remember specifically with those shorts, she just like refused to fix them, and I'm just kind of like, come on, Or like when I went to my cousin's wedding, my mom just like, they were just really kind of like micromanaging the clothing I was gonna wear. And I bought a dress for this stupid wedding, and then my mom goes and buys another dress because she thought, based on the picture, that it wasn't gonna be good enough. And then, she was like, oh, like when she saw me wearing it, she was like, oh, I thought it wouldn't look as nice or whatever. And like, just stuff like that. And that wasn't even that long ago. That was like right before the Rona. So probably like 2019 is when that happened. And so, I still got people kind of like shoving their kind of stupid narrow-mindedness on me, and I'm 40 years old, you know what I mean? And then they want to know why I decline going to all these like family functions and all this other stuff. It's like, well, you don't just let me be myself. If you would just leave me alone and let me like dress the way I'm comfortable, and not be like, well, you have to go shopping and you have to buy this, and let me check what you bought. Like, I feel like I'm 12 years old, It's like, I don't want to spend my money on things. That dress that I bought for that wedding, I took it back. Like, I almost always buy stuff when it's not the style I want. I buy stuff that I know I can just return, because I'm like, dude, like, I don't want this stuff. Like, I don't really want to use this stuff. I don't really want to have it. I don't really want to wear it. I've always got people kind of trying to like shove things onto me, and it's really not cool, but that's kind of, it just comes with the territory. So when I saw that in that sexual harassment training, before the first day was set, when I was still doing the initial paperwork for this job, when I saw that they had that that information about you can't discriminate based on dress code, if it's like, because someone's gender presentation regarding their clothing styles might not fit like the stereotypical norm for that gender, the workplace can't discriminate based on that either. And I was like, I've never seen that before. But I really liked seeing it. And the thing that I said too, I think I mentioned how they said about like hairstyles, protective hairstyles, natural hairstyles, locks, things like afros, things like that. Like, people can wear their natural hair. Like, they want people to be their natural selves. They're not. And I haven't known of that being like an ease in a workplace. Usually for people like me, for people like us who probably log on here and like listen to this pod, you know, a lot of people on here probably deal with those things. And that's why I feel like it's important to talk about it, even though I'm like driving around and doing all this stuff. I find it important to talk about these things because it's like there are workplaces out there, guys, that understand or try to understand and make it about the client, about the work, about the work culture, you know, about humanity. They're not trying to make anybody worse and like fit everybody into a little, you know, fit everyone into their mold. Like they let you still be your own natural self, and they're not like, oh, like you're black, your accent is too, you know, is you have this too much of this kind of accent, or like this is your first language and you have an accent, or you know, you're wearing too much of your cultural looking things, like you need to fit into like white cis hetero corporate America styles on all wavelengths, and talk the lingo and have the accents and make your hair look as straight as humanly possible, even if your hair is not that straight, and or straight at all, and make yourself look as straight as possible, even if you're not straight, and not have any like you can still be professional and be yourself. But I'm liking that I'm seeing that there are companies out there that actually do consider that, hey, you can still be professional and be yourself and do a good job and work hard and not have to be forced into some kind of thing. And I'm just pretty surprised. Like I said, I've been out of the workplace for like a year working in an office, and every time I go into a job, that's what I'm expecting, is that it's gonna be like it's a form of discrimination that people who are majority culture, usually when they're making those rules, they don't see it as discrimination. They see it as their own, you know, they see it as something else. But they see it, I mean, I would say it's discrimination, but because they're majority culture, they're allowed to do it. So let me talk some more about today. So the first thing we did was get set up with IT. They made sure we can log in and everything. I'm driving home right now. They said to like unwind a little bit, take a lunch break a little bit, refresh a little bit, set up your devices a little bit, you know, and then log back on and let them know when we're logged back in, and then we can kind of start with the trainings and stuff. And we got a lot of welcome emails I saw through the Teams chat, like before I even left the office. The supervisor had up his Teams and he's like, oh, see, this is the group and they're welcoming you guys. And it's like, it's pretty heartwarming, you know, it's refreshing and just surprising to meet people that care, you know. When this, you know, the supervisor helped me carry all the gear to the car. You know, we have a laptop. In the laptop bag we have a laptop, a lock case, a case for the laptop, but like a full lock case for everything that goes in it, a work phone, a mouse, the chargers for the mouse and the laptop, a monitor with all the cables, a keyboard, a headset, yeah, he helped me carry it out to the car, and on the way to the car he just kept saying like, I really like your interview, you did really well. And I was kind of like, I just wasn't sure, you know, I was pretty nervous, and like, thank you. And I didn't think, okay, I guess what I was the most shocked about is because I'm used to people not listening to what I say. I'm used to being in a workspace and people just being like, whatever, and they're like, yeah, there's plenty of room for movement at this site, because they I did mention I'm into techie stuff. I'm a nerdy techie person. That's what I've been kind of studying on my own. I did get to kind of nerd out a little bit in the interview, and they asked me. So, of course, I told them stuff that I do. I don't know if I went into the website, but it's on my LinkedIn and all this other stuff. And they were like, yeah, there's plenty of room here if you decide you want to work in IT or something like that. And that was just music to my ears, because that's exactly what I want to do. Like, even when the IT person was going over like the IT stuff with me and the other new hire, I was just thinking, man, like, I wish that was my job. Like, I was like, I would love to just be like explaining this, and like, I was like, wow, he actually remembers. And I had this interview like weeks ago at this point, right? So it was like, what, 2 weeks ago? And he remembered that I said that. He remembered that I said I'm really into techie stuff, and that I've been taking like some courses online and stuff. And he's even like, yeah, if you're trying to go into that, like we could get you into work over here. And I'm just kind of like, what kind of site is trying to set you up with some job that's not even, they want you in the company, and first day starting, before even going into the building, I'm already like, okay, just got to stick it out for 6 months, give my notice, move to Vegas, save $20K, and now I'm kind of like, I might want to feel this out. I mean, I'm not saying I want to feel it out past 6 months. That's really going to be it's going to be 3 months first and then 6 months afterwards. So, I'm going to need to feel all that out, but I don't know, guys. I'm happy with this place so far, I was actually, because I've never gone through a recruiting company or anything, I was a little bit like, oh, like, is this going to be a scam, Like, am I going to drive all the way out there and this place isn't going to exist? That's why I was like, okay, at least I was able to zoom in on the buildings of the address that they sent, and zoom in and see the actual address, and, but yeah, they gave us the laptop, all that stuff, all the stuff that I mentioned. I gotta go home and set that up. I'm actually not that far from home. I'm near the gym that's by the mall that I usually go to. But it would be nice to be able to fully log off for the day. But I think I can take a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna take at least a few minutes before I log back in and like relax, eat. I might not text everybody. I might text some friends. I might not. But I don't know. This seems, so far, like, at least initially, things are going to be a good fit. I don't know for sure. You never know for sure. But these guys made a good first impression on me, that's for sure. And especially with how sleep deprived I am, and how not underprepared, but how tired I am. I'm going to need to have some coffee for sure once I get home, but we're online from 8:30 to 5. Back in the office like May 8th or 9th or something. I think May 8th. And that day they said 11 a.m., so I won't have to wake up like ridiculously early. But we'll probably be working online at like 8:30. But working online at 8:30 from home is a whole different story than working from the valley. I mean, you can see how long this took. I'm not even talking the whole time. I started recording a little after I called the recruiter back. I got on the road and then called the recruiter while I was like starting to drive up onto the freeway. And so once I was on the freeway, that's when I started, a little after I got on the freeway and stopped talking to the recruiters, when I started recording on here. So I don't really know. But as far as the tech work, it just feels like I'm gonna have to be on site a couple days. That would be the only difference. But it might be a break-in. You know, I might be able to break into tech that way and start. So, you know, I don't know exactly what that's gonna look like, but it might be a starting point because I think I'd have like a method to get in. And if I had to drive there twice a week, that wouldn't be the end of the world. It does not sound like I've got to do a whole lot of driving, so it was about 38 miles there, about, I don't know how many miles back, I didn't look, but about the same. So, oh man. So altogether, it's supposed to be about 76 miles. I'm at 74 and a half right now, and I'm right by the gym. It's about 2-3 miles from my house, so I don't know. I'm happy, but I'm too tired to show it. But I'm happy that today exceeded my expectations, and I'm not gonna be too far. Things aren't too far gone from what I need them to be. I am glad that I kind of sprayed off my car a little bit, because at least I don't have like loose dirt, not completely, and poop and stuff all over the car. So I didn't get like a full car wash because I didn't know how much money I need for the gas, but at least it wasn't like a complete embarrassment having the supervisor walk me to my car. And so, yeah, like, I feel good about the site. I just need to freaking eat something. I need to eat something before I topple over. I'm gonna need to arrange a little bit on my desk and everything. They made us take the monitor. I didn't want it, but I think that's it for now. I'm gonna clean the car a bit. The other guy was there. The other new hire with me, he was there. He was still there when I left because they had to set up his laptop for him. So they sent me out. I got to leave first, and then I'm just really tired. So, I mean, it's a little after 12 now. It's 12:22 now. By the time I get settled, it might be like 1 or so, 1 something. Then I'll probably have to be online for like 4 hours or so. We'll see if they keep us online till 5. We'll see what we have to do. But I've got some trainings to get through, so it's a long day, guys. It's a long day. But I planned for the longest, most strenuous situation, and it seems like things are all going to be okay. So just happy to report that things are good and well. All right. I guess for now that's it. Thanks for listening. All right. Just a quick one. I did not get exercise yesterday. Not really. I don't know, like, I feel fine this morning. Had a little a gulp of C4 and a cup of yerba mate. I think I'm kind of powered up. Just drinking some water. Gonna get a little exercise this morning. It is 7:43 a.m. I'm just gonna probably get in like 15 minutes or so, then eat breakfast. It should be helpful more than nothing, I guess. I have to log on to work 8:30 a.m. I'll log on at like 8:20 because it takes a little bit. Then I'll go from there. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for now. I think I have to set up Google Fi. I don't think my I don't know, guys. Yesterday I was not impressed with my internet, so I was kind of concerned because it wasn't really doing too well during the Teams meeting. I don't think I can have that again. So I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out, but I don't know. I might try the I don't know, it says pay for the data you use, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Because people say, for about, I had an alarm just set off and turn this thing off. People say for about an hour, you use 1 gig. This is $10 a gig, so that doesn't sound like a good deal. Simply Unlimited, that gives you 5 gigs. And then there's unlimited tethering. I don't know, it's 65 for a month versus 50 for a month. You get 5 gigs of hotspot tethering. So I don't know. I might want to try it and see if I can get that set up. I don't even know if I need that much, so I might just test it out. Because my house Wi-Fi sucks. Like yesterday, they had like a birthday meeting that I had to attend online, and my Wi-Fi couldn't even handle being on Teams. I had the work laptop hooked up to my household Wi-Fi, and I do have a booster, but I don't know if the booster really works. I don't know. So I've got to kind of check that out, but that's kind of what I'm about to get into this morning. Yeah. So, yeah, it's only 5 gigs of hotspot tethering. That really isn't that good, but let me try it. See what happens, I guess. I don't know. That's all I'm doing this morning. I don't have much to really say. I slept better, even though, well, I slept earlier and then woke up a lot. I stayed up for, I don't know, for like an hour and a half, but it was like from like 1 a.m. to like maybe 2:30. So then I went back to sleep and slept pretty good until the birds started chirping pretty much. So pretty chill morning so far. I'm gonna get in a little exercise because I feel kind of like that's what I actually need for the morning. And breakfast will be easy. I think my mom ordered groceries to come at like 9 a.m. So I'm gonna just wait till they get here. They're gonna get here at like 9, so I'm gonna eat earlier. But give myself that little 15 minutes should be enough. 15-20 minutes. I have the time actually to do it because I don't need to be logged on to work soon, so I got about 40 minutes till I gotta log into work, so that's enough time to kind of get some exercise and get some food in me. Alright. I might actually record more later. This is all I really have to say for this morning because I really don't have a topic. I just think trying to wait till 5 p.m. to get to the gym and knowing it's going to be busy there and they have classes there and stuff, it's like I don't want to risk not getting any exercise because I know how things go for me when I don't get any. So, alright, I'm going to get on with it. Alright, I am back. Wow. Oh man. It just reality hit me that it's like morning. I don't think I slept that great. It's the next morning from the segment I recorded before this, but since it was so short, I was like, let me just explain yesterday, which it was an okay day. Ended okay. The middle was a little rocky. I had to I was doing some trainings yesterday. You know how it goes. New hire. And I was like, let me get the intense ones out of the way. So they were unfortunately about like abuse and stuff like that, and it was just like, wow. Like I actually found it really triggering. And then at the same time, you know, the internet's going off and on for most of the afternoon into the evening. And on my little breaks and stuff, I was trying to set up Google Fi, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it wasn't setting up because you have to have internet to set up the internet for like, you know, I already have the SIM cards and everything because I had it before, but I canceled because it was like 60 something a month. I think it went up, so now it's like 65 a month for unlimited. The plan is not that good. 65 is fine, but it's a little pricey. The one that I got was 20 a month, and then $10 per gig, and then past 6 gigs is free. So basically, once you have 6 gigs, that's like $60 on top of the 20. So it's like 80 gigs plus, basically. I read that, and I don't know how accurate this is. I read that about 800 megabytes to, I almost said milligrams, 800 megabytes to 1 gig or so is how much it takes for about a 1 hour Zoom call. And I'm like, oh man. So, but I mean, the alternative is having glitchy internet. We had a little, I guess, birthday that we had to tune into. I think I talked about it on on Monday afternoon, and it was only 30 minutes, and my internet couldn't handle that. I do have the TP link for 5G for the little boost, but I've just been so scattered. Like, I have to get the password, and because this is the new Windows, I think I have Windows 10, and this is like Windows 11 or something. I don't really know quite where to find the settings, the uh, property details for the network info so I can get my password. I thought I wrote it down, but I don't know where the heck, because I had to use it when I was helping my dad set up his new laptop that he gave away in Africa. So I um I need to do that this morning, probably around 8:15. I will start doing that. It's 7 on the dot right now. I'm waiting till about 7:15 to work out. I'll work out till 7:45, cook some breakfast, eat around 8, and be good to go by 8:30 when I need to log in. But yeah, other than the internet, things went fine. My mood was I was kind of grumpy, but I did kind of perk up around noon when I had lunch and I had coffee. I felt like so much better. So I don't really know what to do with that, because it's like, I had yerba mate yesterday morning. I had a lot of caffeine. Okay, so I had yerba mate with like a sip of C4. I thought that would carry me, but then by 11, I was already like, even before 11, because that was my first 15-minute break I took. I was like, man, I'm struggling. Every hour, about, I stood up to stretch my back and everything. Just like 5 minutes, stood up, walked around the room a little bit. Bathroom break if I needed it. I wasn't taking bathroom breaks every hour, but like that kind of broke up the day a little bit better. And I literally it's just PowerPoint, you know, PowerPoints. So it's not that interesting. I just spent the day with PowerPoints and going back and forth. I was going back and forth with with the supervisor and the director online. Like, they kept Teams messaging me, and the other new hire as well. And I guess they called at one point. I heard the phone, but I was on my 15-minute break, and or I don't know if that's when they called actually, but there was a point where I think I heard the phone, but I didn't know what the sound was, and I thought it was the computer, and it wasn't the computer. And I can't tell if they're just like checking in so often just to see if we're still at our computer, or I mean, that might be what it is. I mean, with Teams, you can kind of tell if nobody's really touched the keyboard, because it starts saying, it goes from green to yellow after like 5 minutes of not like touching anything. So that's a little bit annoying, but I don't really know. I mean, there is a setting in there that you can kind of like take that off and make it, or you can like change it so it's like the duration is like 30 minutes or whatever is what I tried to set it all to, so that it's not just like turning off when I'm like, because sometimes we have to watch videos for trainings. I don't know, but I'm pretty excited about today. I don't know why. We have a meeting from like 11 to 2, and I had a doctor's appointment that usually it's Thursdays at noon, and then we were like, okay, let's try to do my lunch break for like 30 minutes midday, and then it turned out my lunch break is only 30 minutes, and so that's not gonna work. And so now, instead of midday we're doing telehealth at like 8 p.m. So I said 8 p.m. to 8:30 because I'm like, that's already way too late. That's way too late for me. Like, melatonin time is like 9 p.m. So 8:30 is a better cutoff. I don't think I can be until 9, trying to deal with that. I woke up around 3, just, I don't know if it was anxiety or just like energy or what it was. Like I was, when you do that thing where you're kind of like bouncing your leg, kind of like that. I noticed I was kind of doing that, and I was like, dude, why am I so like wired? And I don't think I was anxious. I just had a lot of energy. Went on Facebook for a second, went on Instagram for a second, watched part of this podcast that I'm going to finish watching with Dr. Dre being interviewed, and then basically that's what I did. And then re-listened to an hour of an audiobook. It's by Rabbi Manis Friedman, called "Doesn't Anybody Blush Anymore?" or something like that. I don't even know why I'm reading it. I like his content though. I kind of like his stuff, and so I was like, let me just. I like it because it's positive, and I mean it's very cishet religious, but I like some of the topics, how they were talking about it. It's good food for thought. They were talking about anger. They were talking about how like, how damaging anger can be to relationships, and it doesn't have to be like romantic relationships, but that's what this is talking about, is like cishet, straight people getting married. So they talk about that. They talk about I guess before that there was a little bit about like how people shame each other, like examples where there's like, if like a couple's out to dinner with another couple and like the guy kind of accidentally like spills his drink on himself or something, and he's just like, oh, or the wife turns around and she says to like the person next to her, like, oh, he always does that. Or like if they're at a cashier and like a couple's at a cashier and the cashier says something costs $17 and the wife puts down $7 and the cashier's like, I said 17, and then the husband's like, oh, like she always does that. And it's like just kind of like how people don't stick up for each other. And I'm gonna have to I re-listened to it because I started listening to it when I was sleeping at night, but I liked what I heard, and I just had it on for an hour. So I think, and that was around 3:30. So I think, based on where the moon was, it felt like about 4:30 when it turned off after an hour, and I basically it felt like 4:30 or so, and then I basically I took like 0.25 milliliters of lemon balm extract oil, and that kind of relaxed me a lot. So I should have done that earlier. Like, I didn't want to take melatonin because that stuff lasts way too long for me. But I was like, let me try this lemon balm extract again, because it's good for stress relief. Within like 15 minutes, I was kind of like, felt pretty unwound, like wound down or whatever you call it. It seemed to really help a lot. And then I was able to kind of, I don't know, I found myself like dreaming. It was kind of like daydreaming, dreaming. I was definitely relaxed. I probably had like, in the span of maybe like an hour, it's called like an hour to an hour 15, because I was up at like 6:15 again. I think it was like, I remember having like maybe 3, 4 dreams, little dreams that were very based in reality, very chill, just people I know or people I've seen, and just kind of like relaxed. But at like 6:17 or so, 6:15, I was like, let me just get up. Because I was like, I need to prepare for my day, some self-care, some hydration. Monday, I did this. I woke up early and I hydrated. I drank like 2 water bottles of those like 16-ounce water bottles, and had caffeine and felt really good. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now before I start exercising in about 5 minutes. Just having a lot of water. And you know, just the hard part about working out without any breakfast is, it's a little bit of a struggle, but I'm gonna eat soon anyways. All right. So I think that's about, I'll call it 40 milligrams of C4. I try to write this down so that I don't, I write when I wake up, when I go to sleep, or when I take melatonin, not really when I go to sleep. So I'm gonna put that I woke up 3 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. 0.25 milliliters lemon balm extract, and then about 4:45 to 6:15 a.m. I woke again. Alright. And then, alright. The C4 for today, man. It's May 1st, guys. Do you have plans for Cinco de Mayo? Does that matter? Alright. So, that's all I'm gonna do today. I think I said I have a training online from 11 to 2. So I'm gonna make sure my computer and everything's set up right for all that. And then, yeah, I think I'm gonna be good to go, honestly. I'm gonna call this 40 milligrams of C4. I have no idea how much I took, because it was like 25 milligrams. Then I just drank some more. So I had that C4, and then, yeah, hydration. So I have notes of all this stuff. I mean, I don't always check it, but it's kind of just a good reference, because then I can kind of tell, like when I have a crappy day, like when I was feeling crappy yesterday, I was like, go to the gym. You know to go to the gym, just freaking go to the freaking gym. So I got myself to go to the gym. I kind of made myself do it, and I felt better. And I bribed myself with sushi, and so I brought a cold pack with me and one of those temperature bags, and put it in the car. Went to Nijia Market, got a bento box with chicken and veggies and rice and stuff, and got sushi. It had salmon sashimi with salmon roe on top. I was not gonna eat all of that. I ate the whole freaking thing, guys. So I called it a carbo and protein load, and that's why I'm like, I gotta wake up and work out. So I got 1 minute. I'm about to get up and do this. I think I'm C4 energized enough, honestly. All right. If I have more to say, I'll keep posting onto here. And as for Wednesday morning, let's go. All right, guys. All right. So it's Friday morning, pre Cinco de Mayo, end of the first week of work here. So I've literally just been trying to focus on the basics, on my energy, on getting in the exercise I need, and trying to sleep okay and eat okay. I think my energy is a little bit all over the place. I probably need to do some fine tuning, but yeah, like Wednesday night I didn't really sleep the best, but I felt fine. I was up from like 3 a.m. to probably like 5 a.m. or so, and then got up probably close to 7 something. I don't know what time it was, but I kind of felt fine. Throughout the day, I was pretty alert, probably thanks to the amount of caffeine I consumed. And the trainings on Thursday weren't just PowerPoints. I told them around 9:30, once I clarified that I was pretty much done, and then we had trainings from like 11 to pretty much from 11 all the way to like 4:30. So I saw the in-house software. I saw I got an overview of it, walkthrough of it. I got to see kind of like the main assessment, got a walkthrough of it, and got to practice like a mock assessment pretty much right on the spot. So that was something that I think is better just to throw at someone like me. I think when it comes to things like that, what I need to recognize is that I know the stuff. I just feel like sometimes I worry that I'm not going to be sharp enough, because like I said, my energy can kind of fluctuate. So that's kind of the main point of maybe stress or anxiety that I might have, is like days like today, like when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I slept really good, but I feel really groggy. I woke up only once at like 5:30 a.m. or so, and I could have gotten up, but I was like, no. Then I went back to sleep till like 7, just before 7 a.m. and decided to let me start getting up, because it takes a while to like caffeinate and hydrate. So that's what I'm doing now. But I just had a coffee. I'm trying a different C4, because the other one used to be $2.99 and now it's like $3.50 or I don't know, 3 something. It costs more, the tall can, and so I'm trying this other zero sugar peach mango sparkling smart energy C4. I don't know what I'm gonna fully think about this, but I might just have to stick with my regular C4, the one that I use for working out. I do have a little sip remaining of that one, so I might wait to see if I can use that as a boost later. Sometimes after I have a bunch of water and some food, I do feel a lot better. I mean, the coffee The coffee's got me feeling quite a bit better. Um, and I'm about halfway through this C4. I just don't want to overdo it. It's got 420 milligrams of potassium, 30 milligrams of niacin, B12. It's got 6 micrograms, and this is like per can, I think. It's got 200 milligrams of caffeine per can, but the caffeine is an extract. It says natural caffeine from green coffee bean extract. So it's from the green. It's not from the fully. It's from the green coffee beans. It's got a bunch of other stuff in it. It says 200 milligrams of caffeine per can. And it's got this other trademark thing called Cognizant that I don't really know what it is. It says, or Cognizant. It says it's a registered trademark, but I don't know exactly what Cognizant is. I don't know. I don't really know exactly what Cognizant is. I don't know if it says it. All it says is excellent source of B vitamins, natural energy, caffeine derived from green coffee beans, boosts metabolism and supports fat loss, accelerates calorie burning, sharpens mental focus, clinically studied to elevate alertness, promotes well-being, designed to help you feel your best. And it doesn't have any artificial colors, sugar, or flavors. And it says that caffeine is natural caffeine. So I don't know what Cognizant is. It looks like it looks like something Japanese. It says Kyowa Hako Bio, or Kyowa Hako Bio Company Ltd. I'm gonna look it up. Cognizant. Cognizant. Let me see. Cognizant. Kyowa Hako. Alright, let's see if it says what it is. So you can actually get Cognizant in capsules as well, so it is a thing. It says to keep your mental edge, Kyowa-USA.com has Kyowa Hako USA. Does it have negative side effects? GI disturbances, transient headaches, hypotension, tachycardia, brachycardia, and restlessness. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you power through it too fast without planning it out, that's the kind of stuff that happens when you have too much C4. You really got to plan it out. Like, for some people, for me, it makes me kind of poopy. If I don't eat anything, or if I'm completely on an empty stomach for too long, I'll definitely get a headache. I definitely get super irritable. It does give me a little bit of too much energy. Not quite road rage, but it's like I notice if I take it and then I go to the gym, like I'm driving to the gym, I'm like a little bit like irritated on the road. Like I feel like I want people to drive faster. It does kind of make my breath rate and my heart rate kind of increase, especially if I'm moving a lot. And then when it wears off, like if I've had too much and it wears off, when the crash starts to come in, that's where it's like the restlessness, the negative feelings, it just doesn't feel pleasant. I've found that like having some in the morning before breakfast, having breakfast, and then just kind of sipping it throughout the day. For me, that kind of works better versus like having too much at once. Because if you crash from it, it doesn't really help. And then Cognizin, what does it do for the brain? Um, Cognizin, it also is called, I think, citicoline, effect on cellular synthesis and brain energy, increase the formulation of brain membranes by 26% and restored brain energy by 13.6%. And is it banned in the US? I mean, it says on the 17th of April 2009 it was banned. I mean, it said it was banned, but in this article, this is taken from something from July 2nd of 2018, but it seems like it's not banned. But I mean, it's one of those things, you know. I kind of like to play around with nootropics a bit and switch up my caffeine types of supplements and things. And also drinking water. I mean, I can't avoid the water. That's important too. But I don't know. We'll see. I I don't know what I'm having for breakfast today. Probably like, I don't know. I just don't know what I'm having for breakfast today. Eggs. I always have eggs pretty much. That eggs and oats from yesterday, I don't know if that was a good combo for me. I'm not really a big oats person. But maybe brain wise it helped. I just don't know. I don't know what helped yesterday and why I'm much more groggy today compared to yesterday. I did sleep a lot better. I did go to the gym and got a pretty good workout, and I was pretty sore after the gym. I was like a little bit worried because my legs were like really feeling it. But it was nice to get in a good workout. I had the energy. They let me off work at like 4:41 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. So I was like, let me go to the gym and like try to get there like before like the 5 o'clock traffic. So I got close at like 5:01, I think, or 5:02. I was like pulling into the plaza, which was fine. So I try not to take too much time, between like the driving, the parking, the getting into the locker room, and maybe using the restroom and like putting the stuff in the locker. Like I've realized sometimes it can take like 10 minutes just to like start a workout from the time I like get to the parking, 5 to 10 minutes, or if I count the drive, it can take like between 15 and 20 minutes, you know, depending how easy the drive is. Usually it takes 10 to 15 minutes just to drive to the gym, and then however long it takes with the locker room situation, if I'm changing, if I'm already wearing what I'm going to wear, and then just like going into the locker room and like, using the restroom, washing my hands, like going between the bag and my locker, and like I usually have like a towel, a water bottle, my headphones, and like just that process alone, sometimes it's like, man, like it takes time. It's like if I were working out at home, I would have been done by now. It's like by the time I start working out, it's like, man, I could have been halfway through my workout. But also, I feel like at the gym, I have better resistance at the gym, and it's a little more stimulating and interesting. Plus, I pay like $28, $29 a month to keep my gym membership, so um, so there's that. But I'm really trying to go. I don't know if I need to take days off. I feel like as far as the gym, I don't know if I need to take days off from the gym or not. I haven't determined that quite yet. But it is definitely, I'm probably going to have a couple bottles of water here. Really nothing interesting to report today. I've got a training until 2 and some kind of check-in around 9:30 this morning with the team, I guess. It's probably like some team building introduction thing. Yeah, I mean, I got to shadow someone doing an assessment yesterday, or parts of trying to do an assessment and then following up with some other things. So I kind of got to see, how the notes look and how they enter into the system and everything. I'm gonna kind of review that this morning, my notes on that this morning, and try to look through some of the software we saw yesterday. I don't have the hospital software yet, just our internal software. So I'm gonna go back through our internal software. One thing they did say is that they weren't gonna send the PowerPoints to us. They weren't sending the PowerPoints. So because they hadn't sent the PowerPoints, it's I don't know, that kind of helps me learn, but I did take my own notes, so I'm just gonna rely on my own notes there too. Try to have a healthy breakfast, probably a couple eggs with some spinach, maybe a little bit of this turkey kielbasa sausage. Not a lot of it, just a little bit of it. And then maybe the rest of those oats that I didn't finish yesterday. I don't know. And then, yeah, it's about 7:47, so I should start getting cooking pretty soon. I like to take my time and not be rushing, and I log in around 8:30, or 8:20 is when I start logging in, so it'll give me about 30 minutes to eat if I can cook pretty quick. So I'm gonna get on that, and then that's pretty much my last morning of the first week. I need to figure out about my timesheet. I'll wait till about noon or after 2 o'clock to see if I can contact the recruiter about that. It would be nice to get paid early next week, but I don't know. You know how it is. The first paycheck takes a while sometimes, and so they did say they were going to check in with me this week, but they hadn't yet. I messaged her yesterday about this to clarify information about my benefits. So, she said this. She sent the review yesterday. So it says the first time card is due. For this current week. And then, yeah, the first pay date is on the 10th. So, yeah. So no pay till next Friday, pretty much. I was hoping to get paid earlier than next Friday, but next Friday we'll have to do. Because the following weekend I'm supposed to be in New Orleans, so I don't want to cut that too close, but I'll see. Alrighty. Let me log off of here, post this episode. It's going to be the most of the week. Alright, guys. I'll report back when I have more to say. My energy is improving with the water added, so I'm going to keep on moving forward. You know, man.